Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the classroom. It's November 11 right now, and there's a storm outside, literally. It's Typhoon Ulysses, and it's directly hitting Manila, and will be on top of it tomorrow at 8 a.m. So, uh, since this is the last command for the basic AutoCAD series, let's get through with it. We have our 12 minutes right here handy, and let's go jump into the classroom right now. All right, then start the timer and let's go. So basically, this last command is the settings command. While you could have learned this at the onset, learning it now would allow you to do the customizations, whatever you like to do, and then control some of the drafting elements beyond those drafting options that we discussed last time. The command is SE for settings. No, sorry. Uh, the command is OP for options. So we discussed drafting options last time. Now we're gonna discuss uh, options for the entire program. So, okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 tabs to go through, and we'll go through each one and check out the more important uh, uh, items you should be looking out for. So right now, this Files tab tells us about uh, where the program, where the files to run AutoCAD properly are being placed. So we can see here one of the more important items here to take note of is this, the temporary drawing file location. So while you're drafting, uh, AutoCAD incrementally saves your progress and it stores it somewhere. You'll likely find it here. So it's sometimes it's a hidden folder, but you can just uh, go to it, copy it, and paste it into your Windows and it should show up. Let's try and do that right now. So copy it, pull up an Explorer, put it here, and then run it. So there we go. This is a space within my computer, and there should be, yeah, it's likely going to be one of those uh, temp files here. This is an example of that. So if, for example, you were drafting and the program crashed, if you go here and you find the latest one that is named AC dollar, you can copy this out, like put it in. You do this, you right click on it and copy it, put it somewhere else, like say, let's put it somewhere, anywhere. Let's go to this one. This one is that. When you paste it here, and then you change the name to DW, it becomes an active drawing file and you can open it in your CAD. So that's one of the most important items here. Uh, you don't need to bother with much with anything else here. But if you needed to find something, this could help you. And then display, this is the important part here is this crosshair size. You're probably wondering why the crosshair that I am using occupies the entire screen. And this, I deliberately set that to 100. I think it begins right around 20, if I'm not mistaken. So let's check it out. No, it's just like 5 maybe. Let me see. What was it? 5? Basically, this is a percentage of the screen of the model space. So right now it's 5%. And 100% allows us to forego creating construction lines. Options. And then so I put that always at 100 because it's easier drawing that way. I used to not think that this was the case, but now I see how important that is. And then you can change the color theme here. You can go light if you wanted. That would make the entire UI light. Uh, let's see. All over tooltips. Turn that off to conserve RAM. Uh, Segments in a curve, 8. You can increase this. But these things can be controlled on your importing program. So you don't really need to bother with this unless you're seeing jagged lines when you're creating circles or curves. And then we have open and save. So you can modify this if you're working with a team that is not using the same CAD version as you. You can identify what will be the saving version all the time. And then here you can see that there's a 30-minute automatic save, and then a backup copy is created with each save. And then you also have the temporary file here, which you can change the extension apparently over here. And then what else do we have? Recently used files, so you can see them. Demand load xrefs. This is the when your drawing references another drawing and you don't have that drawing, it tells you to uh, it asks you what you want to do with that. So mainly those. And then plot and publish, default output device. You can probably put a PDF printer on here, but right now this is our current printer. Um, and then plotters, if you have those, you can configure them here. Uh-huh. So the plot style table actually is the most important one here, but for purposes of not spending too much time over that, we'll move on to the next one first. So here we have system graphics performance. So this shows you what card you're using and how that affects how you graph. So if the hardware acceleration is on, or you can turn it off if you wanted, but I don't see why you would want to. And then yeah, not much over here except when you need to toggle this if you're having difficulty using CAD. We will get into that down the line because there's a topic that I want to discuss about that. User preferences, double click editing. If you don't want this, you can disable it. Shortcut menus in drawing area. I am not particularly sure what this pertains to, but it's basically a behavior of the. I think this is a right click. Yeah. Yep. This is the right click. So you can actually see, you can control what right click does when you modify this. So if no objects are selected, if you right click, that means you want to repeat the last command. But you have the space bar for that. So uh, it's better for the shortcut menu to come out because that's generally what right clicking is traditionally used. Insertion scale, millimeters from the source, and your target when you're exporting will be millimeters. Also, you can change this if you want it. I think I modified this to millimeters because that's what we normally use here. Mm. Oh, I didn't know you can turn this off. I'll probably do that. So fields are a different type of annotation. They are automated annotations. And if this is checked, these annotations have a gray background and that identifies them as you can't really modify them because they're a syntax. And then social dimension. Normally you'd want that on so that when you move, for example, you stretch something, the dimension moves with you. And then line weight settings. This is for when you're using line weights within the program. There are a couple of ways to go about that. Maybe later also. So auto snap settings, the marker, the magnet. Yeah, you can modify the size of the auto snap marker as well. If you wanted it to be bigger, this is the, normally you see this square, a circle, a triangle, a diamond. So it differs depending on what you're actually snapping to. I can turn up as an X also. And then object snap options, ignore hatch. Yes, you'd want that on because are hatches are often a culprit that makes the drawing uh, destroy itself since they're too heavy. And then our timer ran out. We have 3D modeling here. Since we didn't go through this, we'll just skip it for now. Oh, there's tessellation here. Pick box size. This is the size of the square on your crosshair. So you can increase it. Grip size, you can increase it as well. But we find that keeping it at default should be okay. So you have selection modes here. And then grip controls. In earlier versions, these were just a few, but over time, when they add functionality, you need to expand this eventually. And then profile. Yeah. If you want to save your environment, you can put it here. So what we didn't, I told you that we could customize here and we could do that with this one, colors. So for example, you want the background to be like yellow, a bright yellow. Uh, I mean, I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. You can turn it into green if it helps your eyes. Sometimes some people use a magenta for this. And I can see that it has an appeal, but black works for me. And then you have a sheet colors. So colors when you're in parallel, when you're in perspective. So there's all sorts of customizations here, which you can play around with and tune to your own style. So that's the basic overview of our options within the program. There's a lot of them, and you can take your time to understand uh, each piece here, but not all of them need to be played with. So they work okay at default. So I will finish up here. That's the entire 75 commands or 72 that I normally teach. And yeah, you should be good to go and working on your drawings. So I will see you guys in the next classroom. It might be a different program, but we will see. Okay? See you then. Take care.